All right. Good morning. Excuse the way I look. I've been working already this morning. I'm in the process of replacing my flooded batteries. Oh, wait a minute. Slow down. Let's start over. Today is Friday, May 24th, 2019. And I am in the process of upgrading the batteries and installing my inverter. My inverter is not going to be usable, but it's going to be installed. So in order to get started with this project, one thing I had to do was take the back wall off of, or the front wall of the bedroom or the back wall of the cargo area, so I could get in there and reinforce it. These two batteries here are going to be removed as soon as I put my new batteries in, because the new batteries are going to go in here. And before you panic, just be advised that those new batteries are gel batteries, so they can go inside the cargo area. Anyway, as you can see, not much material to mount to here. The hose that you see disconnected there, that's actually our central vacuum system. When I pulled the wall out, I had to disconnect it in order to do that. There's the new inverter and some wiring and the fuse block and the shunt. All that's going to be installed today. So let me back up here a little bit. I mentioned that the wall isn't that strong. What I plan to do is, as soon as I determine where the batteries are going to sit, I'm going to add this in the wall and make sure that my inverter will mount to the end of these boards. But I need to find out what the length of my batteries are going to be. I know that it's going to be like 42.5 inches from where that mess is. Can you believe that? That's behind the water station, all that wiring and everything. What a mess. Anyway, as soon as I figure out where the batteries are going to sit, which I think is going to be right up to here, and then I'm going to put the batteries facing that way because I need the terminals to be as close to the existing battery terminals as possible. Then I'll jumper the batteries with the 3-foot section, and then I'll use a 6-foot section to jumper from there to get up to the inverter. Of course, I'm going to need two more positives and 2 more grounds for the inverter. I may have to go get 2 more 3-foot cables. I use these heavy gauge cables here that Jupiter makes. They're sold at Harbor Freight for my wiring. I do have some real long ones down here, but I don't think I'm going to have any use of those, so I may have to pop those up on eBay. So anyway, the wall that used to be right there is now sitting here in the back of my truck. This was the hole for the central vacuum. Instead of duct tape, I've used some wire loom to decorate the hole a little bit. And then what I want to do is, this is pretty flimsy. You don't really want to mount anything or depend on anything from not moving with that. So what I did is I found almost the exact duplicate, and I'm going to, basically what I'm doing is I'm going to double it up. Oh, excuse me, just a second while I switch this around. So I'm going to double this up when I put that back up there to give this wall some strength. So that's the plans. I don't think this video, I wish I had somebody else recording, but perfect. Okay. Oma just come out and said that the gel batteries are in. It's about 9:30. Oh, and Oma, please. The wind took my plastic bag and ran it through my yard, or my son's yard. Okay, say good morning, Oma.
Morning.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing on this.
You can leave me in it. I'm beautiful today.
No, I'll leave you.
Complexion.
Yeah. How's those allergies? How's those Pennsylvania allergies?
Tell you what, those allergies in Pennsylvania are crazy. I've been sick since I got back.
Yeah.
But oh well, that's part of life.
I was sick yesterday, but I'm getting over it. Okay, I gotta run to Johnstown. Bye. All right, I blew it, guys. I finished the project without giving you step-by-steps. But you know what? I'm a do-it-yourselfer, not a show you how to do it. So I'm only showing you what I did. But I finished, got my batteries and my inverter installed. I think the video you saw, I had this back wall off, and I showed you all the studs and everything. I basically put 2 studs behind the wall, one here and one here. I thought I was going to put the inverter right up against that fabric, but that put this too far inside, and then I couldn't get access to any of these plugs. So I said, what the heck, I got some wood left, and I took the wood and I made some standoff blocks. In actuality, I may have did myself a favor, because you know these things can get warm if they're being used heavily, and now I got air circulation around them. So I'll bring my cable in from the kitchen area where we're going to put the remote switch right behind here and plug it in there. And then this is going to be hardwired to a auto switch to power up all our receptacles from inside. So anyway, here's the battery meter. I have it temporary hooked up. We got 13.64 volts on it now coming off the converter. Love this thing. I had one in our Cougar. When we, let's see here. Oh, wrong one. Oh, wrong one again. There we go. Power, right now it's in infinitive because we're on a charger. I'm at 100%. 396 amp hours is what this is calculating off of. 0 amp hours being used, 1 watt is being used, and 0.10 amps, whatever that might be. Maybe the converter itself when it's on trickle charge. The reason I hooked this up is not to run out here every time I see the status of my battery, but this thing also has a Bluetooth dongle. So I have it hooked up to my iPhone. So I got all the software updated on the iPhone, and I can watch this from there. But the battery box is basically 2x3s framed up around both batteries with the divider block between the 2 batteries, and I mounted it on like the 1/8 inch sheet of underlayment board to help spread the load of the weight of the battery on top of this. So I don't know the calculations of what that would be, but anyway, as you can see, I haven't really affected my storage too much. What I did is I put everything in 32-quart bins. If it didn't go in a 32-quart bin, it didn't go in here. So that's the finished project. I don't know if you can see in there or not. Let me see. Oh yeah, I got some backlight back there on that back wall there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Yes, I know that those 2 positive lines are kind of exposed there. I've actually all the positive posts, but everything in here except for these aluminum pans in front of me is plastic. I do plan to put a cover over those terminals for the inverter, but that's a 100 amp fuse with those 2 red lines coming up. To the right of that, where that gray wire is coming out of, that's the shunt, telling us all the load that we're using and for charging purposes. And of course, this big gray hose in front of us is for the vacuum cleaner for inside. So, let's see, anything else? Really happy with the project. Glad it's done. Got room for everything in here. Put this back in here. My little can of grease for lubricating the hitch ball. Once in a while, I just grab a paper towel and wipe it off and put a little fresh grease on it. Nothing, no scheduled in between, but as you can see, I got everything in there. Now, that means I didn't need these batteries anymore. So I'm planning to go ahead and leave that pretty much empty, but I had a wild hair at my tail, and I'm thinking about putting a propane bottle laying on its side there, but I'm gonna have to insulate that like with pool noodles or something. I wouldn't want the vibration to work through the propane bottle. I'm still thinking about it, but as of now, it's gonna be empty. So anyway, project's done. Sorry I didn't give you more details other than what I showed you. I don't know if I told you in the first one, but I put a underlayment sheet that you see under the batteries behind this wall to give that wall a little bit more strength. I wasn't happy with the flimsiness of it. In fact, they only had 2 screws holding that whole panel on, all 5.5 feet all the way across. One on this side and one on the other side. So what I did is every place that there was a stud coming down, which I believe was 5 places, I went and put a screw into this through the middle of that wood to help hold it in place. By the way, if you're getting a close enough shot here, you can see the nice scar I put across my forehead today. I was running out of the RV after I poured a bucket of water down the toilet. I was trying to get the line opened up because I didn't think I had dumped enough black out of the tank. I ran out of the RV and ran right into one of the awning arms. So I'm sure that wasn't the first. It wasn't the first time I got injured, and it won't be the last. So anyway, I hope you all having a nice Memorial Day weekend. We're gonna have a little barbecue in a little bit, and in 2 days we're going to be campground hosting out at Gallitzin. So we're just trying to get everything finalized here. By the way, that's phase 1 of 3 phases. That's going to be our storage for our batteries. We still have energy management, which we're going to put in the kitchen or the hutch area. And of course, we need a power supply, which will be the panels on top. I haven't come up to the final determination on how I'm going to install those yet. Got a few ideas, just don't know exactly. So anyway, have a nice weekend, and we'll talk to you all again soon. We'll have our we're back in the park video soon. Bye now.